I kindly request everyone to please take their seats. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Assistant Professor Mansi Gupta, and on behalf of the entire Department of Law, Prestige Institute of Management and Research Gwalior, extend a heartfelt welcome to each one of you present here. It is with immense honor and profound reverence that we inaugurate the first international law seminar organized in the memory of late Shri Justice M.A. Shah Sahab. We are deeply honored today with the gracious presence of our luminous constellation of dignitaries, distinguished academicians, learned members of the bar and bench who grace us today. The world today is an intricate tapestry of interconnected legal systems, and this seminar serves as a pivotal platform to dissect its complexities. We have gathered to deliberate upon a theme of critical contemporary relevance, evolving dimensions of law in a globalized world, challenges, reforms, and interdisciplinary perspectives. Without further ado, let us commence the inaugural ceremony. Every noble endeavor begins with the invocation of divine blessings for wisdom and enlightenment. As the eternal hymn reminds us, Saraswati Namostubhyam, Vande Kamarupani, Vidya Ramam Karishyami, Siddhi Bhavatau Setada. We invoke Ma Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom, to bless this occasion with knowledge and light. We shall now commence this august gathering with the lighting of the lamp, a timeless tradition that symbolizes the dispelling of ignorance and the illumination of knowledge. I now solicit the esteemed presence of all the dignitaries on the dais, the beacon holders of the inaugural ceremony, to kindly come forward to light the lamp of wisdom. We request the attendees to kindly rise for the invocation.
शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रा मण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा
Thank you, To express our deep respect and heartfelt welcome, we would like to honor our distinguished guests with a floral tribute. Sir, your gracious presence adds grace and meaning to this academic celebration. With great pleasure, I warmly invite Professor Dr. Nirmal Nimbatopadhyay, sir, Director PMIRG, to kindly present the sash as a token of deep gratitude and heartfelt appreciation to our esteemed guest, Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar Sinha, sir, Vice Chancellor, DNLU Jabalpur, whose esteemed presence adds special significance to this occasion. With great pleasure, I warmly invite Professor Dr. Raki Singh Chauhan, ma'am, Principal Department of Law, PMIRG, to kindly present the sash as a token of deep gratitude and heartfelt appreciation to our esteemed guest, Dr. Praveen Tripathi, sir, Registrar DNLU Jabalpur, whose gracious presence today really enriches this occasion. I now invite Dr. Hariom Awasthi, sir, Head of Department of Law, PMIRG, to present the sash as a token of our warm appreciation and heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest, Shri F. A. Shah, sir, Advocate, MP High Court Gwalior, whose gracious presence lends great meaning to this occasion. It is my pleasure to warmly welcome Dr. Letizia Copo, who is joining us online today. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us virtually. We are honored to have you with us. Now, to formally set the tone for this academic congregation, we turn to the visionary leader whose guidance steers the ship of this institution, Professor Dr. Nirmal Nimbatopadhyay, sir, the esteemed director of PMIRG. Sir, your unwavering commitment to excellence continues to inspire generations of legal scholars. I request you to deliver the welcome address and formally extend the courtesies of the host institution. Sir,
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to welcome you all to this international law seminar organized by Prestige Institute of Management and Research Warrior. I extend my warm greetings to our esteemed chief guests, distinguished speakers, respected academicians, legal professionals, and research scholars, and our students. The theme of this seminar, Evolving Dimensions of Law in a Globalized World, Challenges, Reforms, and Interdisciplinary Perspectives, is both timely and significant. Today, we live in a highly interconnected world. Nations are linked not just by trade and technology, but also by shared challenges such as cybercrimes, climate change, migration, human rights issues, and also global health concerns. These challenges cross borders and so must have solutions. Law, as you know, has always been the backbone of social order. But in this new globalized era, laws must also evolve quickly to remain effective. We cannot rely only on traditional approaches. Instead, we must bring together knowledge from other disciplines such as economics, sociology, technology, and international relations. And interdisciplinary perspectives makes law more practical and responsive to real-world issues. This seminar gives us an excellent platform to share knowledge, discuss reforms, and learn from one another's experiences. This presence of eminent speakers here and experts ensures that the discussion here will not remain only theoretical, but also highlight practical directions for future policy and research. At Prestige Institute of Management and Research Gwalior, we are committed to encouraging academic dialogue and promoting thought leadership in fields that matter for society. We believe that by bringing together young students and experienced professionals, we create an environment where fresh ideas and practical wisdom meet. Before I conclude, I express my gratitude to our chief guest once again for gracing this event, and also to the speakers and participants here. Once again, I welcome all to the seminar. I am confident that today's deliberations will inspire all of us to think deeper, act reasonably, and contribute to building legal systems that are just fair and future-ready. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. We are deeply obliged for your encouraging and inspiring words. An institution's vision is the compass that guides its journey towards excellence. We are fortunate to be steered by a leader of exceptional acumen and insight and foresight. We are now inviting the driving force behind this endeavor, Professor Dr. Rakhi Singh Chauhan, ma'am, Principal Department of Law, PMIRG, for her opening remarks.
Honorable dignitaries, Dr. Manoj Kumar Sinha, Honorable Vice Chancellor, National Law University, Jabalpur, Dr. Praveen Tripathi, Professor and Registrar, DNLU, Jabalpur, Advocate Shri F.A. Shah, our himmat, our taakat in organizing this seminar. Honorable Director, Prestige Institute of Management and Research, Gwalior, Madam F.A. Shah, the dignitaries, the faculty members present here, the participants and dear students. जब पिता का सपना बेटे की आंखों में जीवित हो, तो विरासत सिर्फ संभलती नहीं, इतिहास बन जाती है. And this junoon of carrying the legacy of father lies in the eyes of Advocate Shri F.A. Shah Sahab. Since last 6 years, he is organizing seminar to carry the legacy of Honorable Justice Late Shri M.A. Shah Sahab in Prestige Institute, and we were organizing the seminar in this institution in his memory since last 6 years. This year, for the first time, we entered into an international level. That is why we named it First International Seminar. In this seminar, we received the participation of 197 registrations, out of which the abstract received were 142. And the full paper we received for presentation were the number 125. These paper presentations are going to be organized in technical sessions parallelly in 9 sessions, where 5 sessions are online and 4 sessions are offline. For this, we have 18 persons to chair and co-chair the sessions. The resource persons who are chairing and co-chairing the sessions are offline and offline, both the types they are coming, and also they are participating online. Also, we have Professor Letiza Copo from France, who has joined as keynote speaker with us. I heartily welcome to you, madam, and I'm very thankful to you on behalf of Prestige Institute of Management and Research for accepting our invite. As this is a competition, so full papers are going to be presented in sessions. So we have the awards of best paper in each session. We have 4 sessions, 4 themes: criminal law, corporate law, international law, and others. Where we have invited interdisciplinary research papers. So in all 4 streams, we are having best paper presentation and best research paper. So this is a step we have moved ahead, one step forward since last year, with a vision and a mission that after this seminar, we will be able to bring a crisp report on what the changes we can make in dimensions of law in these various themes. With this mission, we stepped ahead और कर्मा चलता गया. एक कर्मा हमारे साथ यहाँ है, अगले 2 दिनों में कर्मा ये बढ़ता चला जाएगा. I'm thankful to all the participants also for coming here. दिल में एक जुनून था कि एक पत्थर तो तबीयत से उछालो यारो, आसमान में छेद हो ही जाएगा. ये सोच कर प्रेस्टीज आगे बढ़ा और हम आज यहाँ पर. Thank you so much all the dignitaries.
Thank you so very much, ma'am, for your insightful opening remarks. Your words have beautifully articulated the purpose and passion behind this seminar, forging an immediate connection with the global audience. This seminar is a humble tribute to the indelible memory of late Shri Justice M. A. Shah Sahab. It is only fitting that we pause to honor the legacy of this towering legal luminary. I now invite Dr. Hariom Awasthi sir, Head of the Department PMIRG, to shed light on the profound contributions of late Shri Justice M. A. Shah Sahab and the enduring relevance of his judicial philosophy. Sir?
Thank you so much, Mansi ma'am. It is an absolute privilege to honor the legacy of late Shri Justice M. A. Shah Sahib. Late Shri Justice Mazhar Ali Shah was born on 25th September 1934 in the district Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, belonging to a family of remarkable professionals and public servants. He was the youngest son of late Shri Sayyid Ali Shah, an engineer, and late Srimati Ahmadi Begum. His elder brother, late Shri Hamid Ali Shah, was a distinguished lawyer and politician, twice elected as mayor of Gwalior and also a cabinet minister in the state of Madhya Pradesh. His other brother, late Shri Zafar Ali Shah, served the nation as an engineer in the Indian Army and later in the Indian Railways. Justice Shah inherited a rich legacy of service and commitment to justice, guided and nurtured by his elder brother. After the untimely demise of his parents, he completed his law graduation in 1957 and soon established himself as a dedicated and upright lawyer. Known for his humility, integrity, and hard work, he quickly rose to prominence at the bar. He served as government advocate for 6 years and also as a standing counsel for the Municipal Corporation District, Gwalior. His association with the legal fraternity was deep as he worked tirelessly with the Bar Association as its secretary, member of the disciplinary committee of the State Bar, and the director of Madhya Pradesh Waqf Board. In 1984, his distinguished legal career culminated in his elevation as a judge of the Madhya Pradesh High Court. He took oath on 25th May 1984 and served the cause of justice and fairness and dedication until his untimely demise on 3rd of August 1989 at the age of 56. Justice M. A. Shah is remembered not only as a learned jurist but also as a kind and principled human being who uphold the dignity of judiciary. He is survived by his wife, one daughter, and four able sons who all are well settled in their lives, carrying forward his values and legacy.
Thank you so much, sir, for that heartfelt tribute. We carry the torch of his noble ideas forward through this collective endeavor. The bar has always been the heartbeat of justice, carrying with it the wisdoms of lived struggles and victories, carrying forward the rich legacy of late Justice M. A. Shah Sahab. We are honored to welcome a distinguished voice from the bar, Shri F. A. Shah Sir, advocate at the High Court of Madhya Pradesh, Gwalior. Sir is a legal practitioner whose career embodies a profound commitment to the principles of justice. His journey began with an academic foundation laid in Jammu, which was thus followed by the culmination of a sharp legal mind through his BA LLB at the MLB College here in Gwalior. His professional path was shaped from its very inception by the esteemed mentorship of the late Sri V.K. Saxena, senior advocate, under whose guidance the foundational tenets of legal excellence and professional integrity were deeply instilled. Over the years, Mr. Shah has distinguished himself as a formidable authority on the criminal and constitutional benches of the High Court of Madhya Pradesh. His profound understanding of law is reflected in the significant trust placed in him by the state itself, evidenced by his pivotal role as a panel lawyer for the government of Madhya Pradesh, his services as a government advocate, and his current esteemed position as counsel for the MP Waqf Board. It is this rare synthesis of deep practical wisdom and scholarly insight that makes his perspective so invaluable. His presence here today allows us to bridge the vital gap between the theoretical discourse and the tangible integrities of legal practice. Let us warmly welcome him to share his wisdom with us. Sir, we request you to share your valuable perspective and address the gathering.
Good morning. Seems students have worked a lot before this day, so they are quite tired. Good morning.
Morning.
Dr. Manoj Kumar Sinha, Vice Chancellor, has accepted the invitation of Dr. Puneet Tripathi, Registrar of the I met him for the first time today, but I received suddenly very soon. That is our professor who is trying to lecture. Dr. Nirmala Bandyopadhyay, Director of this prestigious institute. My sister, Dr. Rati Singh Chauhan, my friend, Dr. Hariom Moghasti, and dear students. Above all, Nancy Gupta, who is conducting the program, very nice president. All the faculty members of our department, respected members of the university body, support staff is contributing wonderfully. All the students who have joined the queen of Rati Chauhan, and particularly the trio, I gave it to today, the trio comprising of Rati Chauhan. These are their achievements. So things look very difficult in the beginning, but with the efflux of time, they start taking their own shape and color. Initiating a law seminar in memory of my father was my dream the day I joined the bar. But you see, we are in Gwalior, and Gwalior is sea city. So things are still underway, city is developing. I could not do it in the initial days because the atmosphere was not. For the first time, it was organized in the year 2018 at Diwali University. Then in the year 2019 at the Mediation Center in Calcutta. But later, with the discussions with the law teachers and my friends, we thought that the right place for this seminar would be the institute. Then the hunt began and it ended here. Previous friends, every time when I come to this institute, I feel this is my home. And आज तो मेरे घर में मेरी बहन ने मेरा स्वागत किया एंट्रेंस she gave me floral bag मुझे कहा कि घर में स्वागत नहीं होता but ये बहन का आदेश है so the things which make this dream a reality I am going to discuss because to speak on the topic we have eminent jurists and the teachers of law. You will be enlightened by the Vice Chancellor of PNLU and definitely Dr. Tripathi sir. Tomorrow's session there will be Honorable Mr. C.P. Wilson and Mr. Vivek who will be enlightening you about the topic. In last year, the seminar could not be hosted because of some health reasons owing to me myself. When Mrs. Rati Chauhan joined this institute, she immediately called me and said, why did you organize this last year? I said, ma'am, there was a personal problem. So in the February itself, we met for the first inauguration here, and she wanted me to host it. I immediately said yes. Because she was also in the initial stage of the institute, and I too had some personal problems. There was a marriage in my family. So things started getting delayed. But ultimately, instead of organizing it in the April, it came to the September. 25th September, that is yesterday, it was the birth anniversary of my late father. So I was quite emotional. Even today, so things started slipping to the September. For that, I believe, since it is in memory of my late father, he wanted it to be organized in September, and he was blessing us and supporting us for that. His spirituality, his divinity supported us to bring this to a reality. During our rounds of discussion, initially we thought of organizing it at the national level as we were doing in the past. But ma'am floated the idea that we should go national this time. And 120 entries she has received. It's really remarkable. And I think she deserves a big round of applause. And the credit goes to the lady who has iconically took this dream to a reality, and all those hands who have supported her. And above all, the head of the body, the dead person, who has supported to cherish the dream which she was dreaming of today's event. Anyways, what was done by everybody that has been realized, we are here today. The valedictory round will take place tomorrow, and I believe all the 120 participants who will be performing today, they will be giving their 100%. But there are only few winners. Winning an event is a spontaneous thing. You see, we have prepared a lot of things. Even as a lawyer, I every day appear in a contest. Appearing in a case is like appearing in a contest, like facing an exam. So every day I have to appear before the court with the same zeal as I used to appear in the court in the examinations. But every day you cannot be visible. The other side might be visible. So it depends on that particular day. So that particular day, what will happen, I don't know. But I give full support to all those who have participated in this seminar, submitted their papers, and will be performing in the later part of it. I wish best of luck to all of you, and congratulate in advance to whosoever will win. And definitely the results will be announced by today. Thanks for coming here, and thanks for
Expressing our deepest gratitude, sir. Thank you for an address that so powerfully articulated the purpose and true essence of this gathering. Our next speaker is a distinguished academic and administrator whose scholarly pursuits bridge the worlds of corporate law and legal policy. It is my privilege to introduce Dr. Praveen Tripathi, sir, currently holding the key administrative position of Registrar and Dean of Students' Welfare at the prestigious Dharmashastra National Law University, Jabalpur. Sir is an alumnus of the National Law School of India University, NLSIU Bangalore, where he completed his LLM in business laws. His career journey includes a formative period of practice at the High Court of Madhya Pradesh, followed by a significant academic tenure as a research associate and an assistant professor at the NLSIU and an assistant professor at the School of Law, Bennett University. A recognized expert, his research encompasses pivotal areas of competition law, financial market regulations, corporate finance, and many more. His academic excellence is understood by prestigious recognitions, including the CCI IICA Fellowship for the Antitrust Summer School, the Asian Scholar Grant by the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy Singapore, and the Young Asian IB Scholar Award by the Singapore Management University. We eagerly await the insights of this eminent academic. Sir, the forum is yours.
Very good morning to all. Professor Dr. Manoj Parsna, Vice Chancellor DNU, and also my boss. Thank you, sir, for traveling from Delhi to Gwalior. I know your schedule is too busy, and in spite of the busy schedule, you have taken time to join the chief guest. Honorable Dr. Professor Dr. Nirmal sir, Director, I met first time today in the morning of the day, but I noticed that sir, though being not practicing lawyer, but he has good knowledge on the law. So I was really intrigued by this thing in that time. And Shri FHR sir, आज मेरी पहली बार मुलाकात हुई सर तो सर ने जैसा बताया कि it was very friendly vibe. The feelings are mutual sir. Same I felt about you. क्योंकि सर एज एडवोकेट जो कंट्रीब्यूशन दे रहे हैं कॉलेज के लिए, every college in every city needs some advocates who can really support the colleges. We also feel blessed in Jabalpur that we have some advocates who are supporting our activities, and I'm also fortunate to see that sir you're doing such a great work for the institute. क्योंकि हम लोग हमेशा बार बेंच का रिलेशन बोलते रहते हैं, बार बेंच. What about the bachelors? So there should be a bar bench and bachelor relation, and I think you are fulfilling that link with the colleges. Professor Dr. Raki Chauhan, I think आपसे मेरी मुलाकात पहले नहीं हो पाई है, but I feel now कि शायद आप मेरे टीचर नहीं हैं जीवाजी में, क्योंकि मुझे ये तो बता दिया गया है एलिमनस से एलिमनस, but I am deeply rooted in Gwalior. I have been born and brought up in Gwalior. I have my undergraduation from Jivaji University. I graduated in the year 2008. So from Jivaji University only. So that I think I'm good teaching that time, so you might have taught us that time. But since 2008, I have not been visiting Gwalior much. I have been in Bangalore, I have been in Noida, and I thought कि मैं ग्वालियर वापस आता हूँ, जिससे कि मैं अपने परिवार से मिलता रहूँगा ग्वालियर में. तो मैं ये सब मेहनत करके कैसे भी जबलपुर पहुंचा, सोचा हर वीकेंड पे ग्वालियर जाऊँगा. लेकिन सोचिए पिछले 8 महीने से मैं ग्वालियर नहीं पाया हूँ, and I need a reason to come to Gwalior now. And thank you for giving the reason to come to Gwalior. And thank you, Dr. Hariom Awasthi, who is also my dear junior from my alma mater from Jivaji University, and being very kind and always referring as Dada. But Dada has two connotations. It could be Dada Giri also, and it could be Dada as elder brother also. So I'm always afraid to which Dada you are referring to. So thank you. I hope that's elder brother only. Thank you. Thank you. So. And welcome all the esteemed guests and faculty members and the dear students of Prestige Institute. Last time I was called to Prestige Institute was for taking a marathon session on a specific relief act, and that was my Hariom who made me teach or speak for at least 5 hours continuously without break as well. I hope that went well. So this conference, the international conference envisioned in the city of Gwalior at the Prestige, is a remarkable step for not just for the college but also for the people who are coming and presenting their papers here today. See, law as just is not a static thing. It keeps on evolving day to day. It keeps on evolving situation to situation. And every time the new mischief comes, the law has to come up to resolve that particular mischief. Now, one way of making the law is what the parliament are doing. They make the law, they draft the law, there is a debate, and the law is passed. And in that process of making the law, there are often certain gaps which are left. And those gaps sometimes are deliberate. Deliberate means, if you refer to the discussion of an author, Frank Cross, he is a US author who has written a small book on interpretation of statutes. And also the similar thought is also being echoed in the book by Keynes, who talks about the interpretation of statutes. They say that the legislative gaps are sometimes deliberate in a manner. Why? Because they give a delegated power to the judiciary to carve out the law wherever the situation demands. So now if you see majority of the law where it says that as the court deems fit, there is a deliberate giving of delegating the power to the judiciary कि आप जब परिस्थिति लगे आप अपने डिस्क्रिप्शन के हिसाब से लॉ को बना सके उसको. तो these gaps are deliberate. एक तो तरीका हो गया पार्लियामेंट ने लॉ बनाया है, दूसरा तरीका हो गया कि जजेस ने जो डेलीगेटेड पावर्स दी गई थी, ये नॉट डायरेक्ट पावर, इट इज implied power in legislative drafting where the judges can make the law. तीसरा जो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण जगह है लॉ के इवॉल्व होने का वो है ये कॉन्सेंसस. लेजिस्लेचर और जुडिशरी अपना काम कर रहे हैं, बट जब द academicians meet, what they do, they talk about the issues which are upcoming. आपकी कॉन्फ्रेंस की बहुत सारी थीम्स हैं, 4 थीम्स बनी है मेजरली इसमें, और हर थीम में you will notice that there is an underlying idea. What I felt after looking at the brochure, I felt the underlying idea was about the human dignity. क्योंकि हर चीज का एक underlying idea होता है, उसी के बेसिस पे आप each wisdom generis का प्रिंसिपल अप्लाई करते हैं. आप लोगों को सबको मालूम होगा each wisdom generis के बारे में, नोसाइटर रिसोर्सेस के बारे में. Now, in criminal law, when we talk about the human dignity aspect, it is majorly about the under trials and the protection of the person's right and liberty, life and liberty. When we talk about the corporate law में कुछ लोग बोल सकते हैं कि artificial person उसकी human dignity कैसे, लेकिन but in corporate law you see that one of the important player or important stakeholder in the corporate law is the investors or what we call the minority shareholder. Those are the weaker sections. So law should protect their dignity as well. In international law, if you see, the refugee crisis is about the human dignity. More than that, the last theme of the conference talks about the emergence of various upcoming issues. You see that there is a climate is an issue, AI is an issue, robotics itself is an issue, and they are somewhere affecting the human dignity. So I am happy that in the city of Gwalior, we are talking about some themes which are related to the human dignity, and very proud about the Gwalior city as my birthplace as well, that the discussions are taking place in Gwalior. I have been called as a guest of honor, but I think it should be named as guest of learner. Because I'm still evolving and I'm still learning, and I'm too young to be called as a honor guest of honor there. Because these conferences actually suggest that we all are here for learning on various aspects and evolving the law and evolving the process there. At this conference, I'm sure that various papers may win or lose, that's a different matter. But yes, various aspects of law may come out as a reform in the development of the law. And my also request to the organizers are that you will see that if some of the papers have the potential which could be combined as a volume or which could be sent to the government for the purpose of suggesting the reforms, kindly do that and do an editing of that and suggest the government also the reforms which is the outcome of the conference. The conference outcome may not be restricted to only the prizes but also to the real action that what changes it can lead to the entire society. There will be students who will be participating here, there will be professionals also, there will be academicians also, and I think every category of people are participating here. And when we are participating in the such capacities, different capacities, we have to unify all on one basic level that we all are learners of law, and there is no hierarchies which are involved in these kind of matters there. Thank you for calling me here. Dr. Rakhi for organizing this event and calling me, giving me the opportunity to visit the Gwalior. And I wish all the best to all the participants who are joining this part of conference and wish you all the best for the presentations as well. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir, for that comprehensive and stimulating address. There's so much to learn from you, starting from humble demeanor to knowledge and wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, we now approach the pinnacle of our inaugural session. It is an extraordinary honor to host our chief guest, Professor Manoj Kumar Sinha, sir, the distinguished Vice Chancellor of Dharmashastra National Law University, Jabalpur, a globally renowned scholar. Thank you so much, sir.
कई बार तो ऐसा लगता है कि जो मेरी इंट्रोडक्शन है कि मैं हूँ कि कोई और है सोचता है इसको और कई बार तो इंट्रोडक्शन इतना बड़ा हो जाता है कि स्पीच के लिए भी सोचना पड़ता है तो एटलीस्ट हमको थोड़ा लंबा करना तो ये बहुत सही है सो थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर इंट्रोड्यूसिंग मी इन द प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर मेहुल बंदोपाध्याय जी डायरेक्टर PIMRG Sri F.A. Sasar, Advocate MP High Court. Dr. Praveen Tripathi ji, Professor and Registrar of the Dharmashastra National Law University. Professor Rakhi Singh Chauhan, Principal PIMRG. And our colleague online, Professor Lizia Coco, Associate Professor, Grand Catholic University, France. And नमस्ते सर, हरिओम, नमस्ते सर, और हमारे अभिषेक और मैडम सर और हमारे साथ हैं। तो ये बड़ा ही अच्छा अनुभव है और खुशी और आनंद की बात है और मैं बड़ा आनंदित महसूस करता हूँ कि आपने मुझे आने का मौका दिया है, आपने मुझे बुलाया। परवीन जी कहे कि सर बेस्ट है, तो मुझे लगता है कि आप जब कभी पोजीशन में हैं तो आपको प्रिटेंड भी करना पड़ता है कि आप बेस्ट हैं। और इसके लिए मुझे एक बात की याद आती है कि मैंने बहुत छोटा था तो मैं एक अफ्रीका के प्रोफेसर से मिला, इंडियन प्रोफेसर, ही गॉट ए जॉब इन नाइजीरिया। तो वो आए, बोले कि अरे मुझसे मुलाकात हुई, मैं उसमें डायरेक्टर इंडियन लॉ इंस्टीट्यूट या इंडियन सोसाइटी। बोले कि तुम तो तुरंत मिल लिए। बोले क्या करो, बैठा ही कोई बताया ना, मिल लिया। बोले नो, आई ज्वाइंड इन अफ्रीका सो आई हैड सेम वे कि लोग मिले। तो बोले कि मैं कमरे में बड़ा सा चैम्बर सब चीज। So first day I met around 10 to 12 people. The next day PA came and said, you should not meet more than 3 people in a day, even if you are sitting alone. You are in a position holder, you have to keep it that way. And he said, you artificially busyness दिखाना पड़ता है, तो मैंने वहाँ से learn करे. But we can manage and people are like, you know, very busy, but I'm very happy that I could make. The only challenge was traveling from here. And I would like to thank professionally Professor Praveen Tiwari for each day for last 15 days. Yes, आप आ रहे हैं, आप online, but online से अच्छा हुआ कि offline आया और आप सबसे मुलाकात हुआ, सबसे मुलाकात हुआ और सभी से। कार्यक्रम का माहौल कैसा? तो कहते हैं कि बिन बारिश के बूंदे के बरसात का एहसास कैसे हो, तो पानी नहीं गिरे तो बरसात का पता ही नहीं चलता है। और कार्यक्रम का माहौल कैसा है बिना तालियों के गड़गड़ाहट से कैसे। तो ये ताकि हमारे शासक भी बोले, प्रदीप जी बोले, तब बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और मैं बार बार कहता हूँ कि अंग्रेज चले गए, अच्छा ही है, चले गए, अंग्रेजी देखेंगे। खास करके मध्य प्रदेश में अंग्रेजी की दिक्कत होती है, बिहार में दिक्कत होती है, हमारे बच्चे बड़े संघर्ष करते हैं, बोलते हैं कि हिंदी में इंग्लिश पढ़ो। तो हम खास करके जो हिंदी भाषी क्षेत्र में उनके लिए तो बड़ी चुनौतियां छोड़ दी है कि इंग्लिश बोलना है, इंग्लिश नहीं बोल रहे। बोले सर ठीक है सर, बनारस में पढ़ाई की, इंग्लिश में हिंदी में पूछी, भैया यहाँ हिंदी में इंग्लिश में बोलना पड़ेगा, पढ़ाओगे कैसे? तो ये चैलेंज है, लेकिन आप जो नए जनरेशन है उसमें काफी सुधार। हम लोग के समय ज्यादा था भाषा की एक समस्या, बट आज जो यंग बच्चों को देखते हैं यहाँ पर उतने ही माने कॉम्पिटेंट है। और इसी संदर्भ में एक बात कहना चाहता हूँ कि वो प्रोफेसर वेंकट राव बोलते हैं, आप कटिंग की पढ़ाई की थे, तो उन्होंने बताया कि अपने 10 साल के दरमियान में उन्होंने वहाँ पर, मैडम आई एम सॉरी, आई थिंक आई विल स्टार्ट स्पीकिंग इन इंग्लिश, सो कैन यू फॉलो मी हिंदी में जोर से? नहीं Can you hear me? नहीं
सर
सुना।
आपको नाम से लोगों में पे
अच्छा छोड़ो।
सर करना बन
So ये वो बताने लगे तो उसमें बहुत अच्छी बात है जो मध्य प्रदेश के लिए तो उन्होंने बताया कि so he saw that number of students are coming from Madhya Pradesh to got a seat in the National Law School Bangalore. So among the law school, National Law School is the top law school. He was surprised and he said one day I asked some student, how did you manage to come here? Like no, and then they studied in the remote places, not in the Indore or Bhopal or Gwalior, remote places, remote districts of the Madhya Pradesh. And he was explaining to me, and he said, because the education has like the last 10, 15 years or 20 years reform and focusing in both language, Hindi and English, and that has been the thing. So you all are competent. The only thing like once you realize your potential, you can go anywhere, and that is the like way a large number of students from Madhya Pradesh made a place in the national law school for many years, and that continues there. And of course, like our national law school, 70% from the Madhya Pradesh, and they are the students from we have reservation also 50%, but remaining seats also goes to the Madhya Pradesh student. Let's go back to अभी 21 20 21st सेंचुरी की तो जो सबसे बड़ी चैलेंजेस है बहुत सारी घटनाएं हैं कोई बोलेगा तो रसिया यूक्रेन कोई बोलेगा कुछ गाजा और पैलेस्टीन गाजा और इजराइल लेकिन अभी हमें सबसे बड़ा लगता है कि ट्रम्प से कैसे डील करें तो सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज हमारे यूएस प्रेसिडेंट ट्रम्प है अभी बिग जो चैलेंजेस फॉर द 21st century आई एम क्वाइट श्योर is a challenge for his country person also. It's not only for the outside, within the country and outside. One day he is something, next day he is something, next day he says, yeah, fine, I have changed. Lot of like, पता नहीं अगर नोबेल पुरस्कार मिल जाए तो शायद वो इसी के सारे एक्सरसाइज. So Trump is like, it's a the president of the United States has established what the world is still unipolar. It's not multipolar. That is the way he is asserting and the way he has humiliated. Like, suppose you invited and I start saying something wrong about it, and that. So the way he humiliated everyone. So United Nations annual session is going on. United Nations की General Assembly की session अभी चल रहा है जब सोमवार से started. And he was the third speaker to speak. And I had interest, so I watched that. Like, in front of 100 representatives of the 193 states, including India, China, Brazil, all countries were sitting like you, and he blasted like anything. He said, Iran, last 22 years, Iran was not listening. We bombarded. He said everything in an institution which is supposed to maintain international peace and security. He had also said. And Madam from France is there because France also has recognized two-state solution on the United Nations General Assembly session, and Macron has said. And Trump has said, this is the reward of terrorism. This is the two-state. So he reviewed, he reprimanded, he challenged every 147 states who have already adopted General Assembly two-state solution. So Trump, the way we thought in 1989 when the ideological Cold War era ended in 19. So like I see that the development which took place from the end of the 20th century and 21st century. The beginning, the starting point or historical point, I consider it was the end of the Cold War in 1989. Reunification of Germany, like a dismemberment of the former USSR. And everybody thought about the bipolar world, we are going to move towards the multipolar world in the end of the Cold War. And it continued some way, multipolarism. But today in the 21st century, we see we are in a state and there. And some, as I said a few minutes back, that we are more on the unipolar. The entire international relations, international politics revolves around action, reaction, and retraction of the United States perspective. The common the major challenges is the how to say in one hand. On the other hand, we have hope. Hope in the sense we have international institutions working in various areas. We have a specific institution that is known as United Nations, and the United Nations is celebrating its 80 years of establishment. 80 वर्ष हो गया है 1945 में वो हमारा यूनाइटेड नेशन हुआ। तो यूनाइटेड नेशन दिस ईयर दे हैव टेकन अ मोटो जो बड़ा ही डीप एंड compassionate है। So motto of United Nations for this. So they are saying better together. So they are saying better together. That is, and 80 years and more. 80 years and more for peace, development, and human rights. So entire United so क्या क्या हम कितने दिन और आगे जाएंगे for establishing global peace, development for everyone, and protection of the human rights. These are the three foundational pillars of the United Nations, which has United Nations has been established. So United Nations had agenda also. So we all must strive. The challenges before us is establishing global peace. Challenges before us for the human rights. Challenges before us how we address the refugees and immigration issue. How we end the discrimination which persists in the society, not on the individual basis among the states. Global South, Global North. जो हमारे साउथ के देश है, अफ्रीका और एशिया का एक तरीके का और एक तरीके से हमारे यूरोपियन देश है। इनमें जितनी ज्यादा असमानताएं हैं, उनका भी एंड होना जो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन exists between the global south and global north needs to be taken care of, and that is the major problem. Refugee is a major problem. Nobody would have thought in 1951 the refugee will continue and will become a permanent problem, because when refugee started, the international legal framework developed in 1951 to regulate the refugees. इसको शरणार्थी के लिए हम कहते हैं। Everybody thought कि refugee is largely because of two world wars, First World War and Second World War, and it's a temporary problem. It's not going to last forever, and that is why the law which was adopted in 1951, everybody thought it's a retrospective application. ये जो पहले के जो हुए थे 1951 में लॉ बना, बट इनका मैंडेट था 1 जनवरी 1951 में कि पहले जितने भी रेफ्यूजी उसी को एड्रेस करें। But what we see, refugee problem keeps on growing, and it has added new elements. It has added elements of the statelessness. It has added migration, illegal migration, and other aspects are there. Today, we have more than 80 million population in the world, not as a refugee, they are known as internally displaced persons. The cause of the internally displaced person is largely because of conflict. So what we are seeing, a conflict is taking place in more than 70 countries in the world, largely in the African continent, where the state armed forces conflict under the international humanitarian law. We have huge challenge in the climate change. As I said, madam is there online, she will also agree. So climate change, the statement given by the Trump, he said, when I was in the college at young days, I heard about the global, cold. So climate, so the entire world will face cold, people will die because of the cold. Then global ice cold, then global warming. Now there is a climate change. Now green economy. All are scam. He says all are scam. All are so a world leader saying something. The major issue climate change another. It's a huge uh, definite which huge this negative impact on the development which are taking place on the global level, and that is the reason I say. But we don't need to worry about that. As I said, we have institutions, but climate change is a big issue. human rights is big issue, refugee is big issue, development is big issue. When we talk about the development become a global concern, and when you take the beginning of millennium era, the 21st century, what we see in the 21st century, 2000, the first time global community realized we should uh, we should do something for the people, and we should do something to end the extreme form of poverty from the earth club. So लेकिन पहली बार एक ऐसी सोच हुई कि हम किस तरह से मानव की मदद एक दूसरे के करें और जो एक्सट्रीम पॉवर्टी एग्जिस्ट करती है अर्थ में उसको खत्म करें। और इसी के हिसाब से पहले मिलेनियम डेवलपमेंट, आज हम सारे समय में सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स की बात करते हैं, but it started in 2000 with the millennium development goals, which were replaced subsequently on the 1st January 2016 by the sustainable development goals. So development started in 2000 and 2016 in new form. Now we are coming to an end on the 3 years time. We have to see how far we go. Unfortunately, again 3 years, 4 years, COVID has come in between, so it has slowed down the implementation of sustainable development goals. So means this is also a way to see the world wants to develop. When we talk about the development has two dimensions. So if a one dimension development means a business, corporate, वो सोचते हैं, नेताजी भी बोलते हैं विकास करेंगे, रास्ता बनाएंगे, मकान बनाएंगे, गरीबों को हटाएंगे, ये करेंगे, वो करेंगे। तो उनका इकोनॉमिक पर्सपेक्टिव होता है, एक इकोनॉमिक बिंदु से वो बोलते हैं। अब डेवलपमेंट किसके लिए करनी है? डेवलपमेंट करने हम सबके लिए, हमारे छात्रों के लिए, स्कूल के लिए, कॉलेजेस के लिए, हेल्थ के लिए, ऐसे सोच के होने की जरूरत है। तो डेवलपमेंट जब तक मानव को बीच में नहीं रखकर करेंगे तो वो डेवलपमेंट कभी हमको डायरेक्टली जो हमारे सबसे नीचे में है उनको मदद करने में नाकामयाब रहेगा। तो डेवलपमेंट का जो उद्देश्य होना चाहिए, इसमें मानव पक्ष को रखना होगा, मानवता को आगे रखते हुए human beings should be center of the development policy. So development should not be for the multinational company. Development should not be for the large business houses. Development for the human beings. So human beings का need है कि हमारी जो मानव अधिकार है उसको हम पूर्ण रूप में enjoy करें. Enjoyment of fullest extent of the human rights, and that is what we talk about the social status of the human being, and that is the part 4 of the Indian Constitution. I think I'll stop here. कि बहुत बातें बहुत कहने की हैं, madam. I think I'll give you a chance to speak. Otherwise, Indian professors are always go on and then never stop. So I will make our relation, Indo-French relationship intact, and we are here looking forward to you. So these are the points which I wanted to say, and I'm happy that she also heard about that. There are issues, human rights, and particularly immigration is a big challenge in the European countries. What is happening in the number of countries? So how this has to be done? Both are equally important. Because I focus on the compassion, then empathy. These are the very important aspects in the human life, and we have to work. And we have to understand that I am not an Indian. I am a citizen of the world. If I have a rights and duty, it's not because of the Indian I have rights and duties. Wherever I go, my rights and duties are protected by even the third nations I go. So you have a rights and duties as a world citizen, and of course your country will protect. But आप जहाँ भी जाएंगे आपके rights and duties को किसी का अधिकार नहीं है खत्म करने को, दबाव करने को. With this, I would like to thank रेखा जी और खास करके मेरे प्रवीण जी को और बंदोपाध्याय सर, सभी को प्रवीण आपने मुझे यहाँ लाने के लिए किया, और इसी के कारण मुझे ज्यादा बोलना पड़ा है. तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. और तो कई बार तो मुझे ये लगता है कि कई सेमिनार में चले गए और काफी, तो वहाँ सेमिनार में जाने के बाद पता चलता है क्या बोल रहे हैं, तो पता चला कि टॉपिक ये है, लेकिन मुझे पता था काफी, और मैंने काफी, and I'm very happy to see, and that is the way when a conference is organized, but themes, sub-themes is well formed, contemporary. You have also given a mixture of domestic as well as the international. Some of the topics I have said, that is the noted. I have noted also you talked about in one of something international human rights law and international criminal code. I just suggest international human rights law should be replaced by international humanitarian law and international criminal code. Then it is jail with or there is a relationship. Human rights is more than domestic or the criminal. But anyway, the broader perspective I see, then it also applies to the international. So बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सबको, जोरदार से तालियां.
Thank you so much, sir, for that profound, compelling keynote. Hearing from sir 2 days back online FT that sir took on constitutionalism and human rights to hearing from sir today is nothing short of monumental and a truly special session for us. Thank you so much, sir, for gracing your presence today. The intellectual journey that we have embarked upon now takes a significant leap across continents as we welcome our keynote speaker, an international academician at the cutting edge of digital jurisprudence. It is my great honor to introduce Dr. Letizia Coco, Associate Professor of Private and Commercial Law at the Université Catholique de Lyon, France. Dr. Coco's eminence is evident in her diverse affiliations. She is the director of the comparative law section of the Instituto Jurídico Arte del Derecho in Lima, Peru, a distinguished research fellow at the Turin Observatory on Economic Law and Innovation, and a qualified lawyer before the Turin Court of Appeals. Academically, she holds the highest distinctions, a PhD in law, individuals and markets from the University of Turin, graduating magna cum laude. She has further secured the Italian National Scientific Qualification as Associate Professor in Private Law. Her scholarly work lies at the critical nexus of private law, comparative law, and digital regulation, with a pronounced focus on the law of emerging technologies, particularly artificial intelligence and digital platforms. Today, she will share her insights on the seminar's overarching theme, guiding us through the complex challenges and opportunities that law faces in the digital age. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Letizia Coco to deliver the keynote address. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Before the beginning of my inaugural speech, let me tell you that I'm truly, truly honored for your kind invitation and I'm very, I want to congratulate you for the perfect organization. I am truly grateful to the organizers for such a warm welcome, and I am very happy to share some food for thoughts with you all. So this announces to be a very enriching international dialogue, and I believe occasions like this are the lifeblood of academia, especially in times like the current ones, when the world is devastated by conflicts. I believe it is our duty as academic, scholars, and jurists to gather and stand together against the risks that law globalization raises, face the related challenges with uniform or at least harmonized answers, whatever the country and the legal tradition we come from or live in. Then, how could we reach such an ambitious goal? Of course, I have no answer for that, but I can identify some of the challenges and tell you what the recipe should be, of course, in my opinion. Well, the recipe should have several ingredients, in my view. A first ingredient is pluralism and multidisciplinary approach. We've already talked about multidisciplinary approach with the colleagues that preceded me. Well, about pluralism, I believe we must teach, discuss, and promote pluralism. That is to say, how to make heterogeneous cultures effectively live together in harmony. And this is not just a cultural challenge, it is also a legal challenge. The law can make minds change, like Justice Shah did by introducing in law schools modules on non-discrimination, as it has been said, and other fundamental human rights, by bending legislation towards fairness and equality through judicial decisions, by teaching students, lawyers, and law professionals in general negotiation, process pluralism, and collaborative approaches rather than an I win, you lose logic. The second ingredient, I would say, is humanism. As you know, ours is the era of artificial intelligence. AI is nowadays a component of human existence. We could say an infrastructure to which we commit to an increasingly wider extent several aspects of working, social and relational life, and so on. Basically, we can say that AI creates a new hybrid world as it is virtual and in the meantime real for the reality of its impact on individuals, on their liberty and rights. More in depth, AI has a significant impact on the development of the person. It fragments personal identity and interacts with users. So it challenges human beings, which have been up to now the only creatures capable of using the language of words. And in the future, we will probably witness the birth of two new forms of AI, what we call general or strong AI, which will be capable of performing any intellectual task that a human can, and even super AI, which would surpass human intelligence in every aspect. AI also challenges the main categories of the law. As AI systems basically are hybrid. On one hand, they are goods. On the other hand, they share several features with persons, namely their ability to make decisions and act as humans, their ability to produce intellectual outputs, and even their ability to cause accidents. From another viewpoint, AI threatens our fundamental and even non-fundamental rights. It affects the personal identity of the users or of the persons who are subject to it. For instance, nowadays, as you know, one can have multiple digital identities through multiple avatars. Besides, AI can be a collector and processor of personal data. It can affect the right of persons not to be discriminated against. Algorithms decide whether you should be entitled to a loan or to housing benefits, or whether you should win a certain call for tenders. And it may turn out that this algorithmic decision has been the product of a discrimination bias. Then AI can cause accidents in the most various fields and consequently can cause damages to be compensated under the tort liability regime. It can be a tool for violating intellectual property rights. It can become a tool for mass surveillance and therefore threaten personal freedom. It can be used to cyber attacks. These are just some examples, but basically, to sum up, the rights which might be affected by AI are not only the right to privacy and the right to data protection, but also the right to dignity, the right to liberty and security, freedom of thought, conscience and religion, freedom of expression and information, freedom of assembly and association, freedom of arts and science, the right to education, the freedom to choose an occupation and engage in work, the right to equality before the law and non-discrimination, the right to equality between men and women, the rights of the child, the rights to fair and just working conditions, the right to healthcare, the right to access to services and general economic interest, the right to consumer protection, the right to a good administration, and even the right to an effective remedy and to a fair trial. And besides these individual rights, also values are at stake. Democracy, peace, welfare, competition, social dialogue efficiency, advancement in science and culture, cooperation, civility, and security. So basically, is a challenge which covers, which deals with several fields of the law, not only civil law, but also labor law, administrative law, law on political propaganda and elections, whenever AI is used in political campaigns, military law on the use of AI in armed conflicts, and so on. So, before artificial intelligence, in my opinion, we shall stay human. We shall preserve and protect humanism and humanity. A way in which our European legislator did it, for instance, was by establishing the principle that AI should always be supervised by a human being. Of course, by humanism, I also mean the respect of all those rights that belong to human beings as such, as it has been said by my colleagues as well. The third ingredient should be, in my opinion, harmonization. The word harmonization recalls the one of harmony, which is a concept that we can find, even if in multiple forms, in several legal traditions, including the Hindu legal tradition. As you know, I would link it to the concept of dharma. Sorry for my pronunciation. So now, how can we reach such harmonization, given that we are so different legal traditions? I think we can reach it by coming back to basics. That is to say, by coming back to those principles which unite us all. No matter how we call them, those principles which are universal and should be the pillars on which every legal system rests. I can try and tell you what these principles are by linking myself to the Hindu word, which is, to me and to European legal tradition, an extremely fascinating word. So one key principle, which is shared by Europe as well and by the Western legal tradition as well, is, as I said, the one of dharma. For that, at least we mean a sort of righteous living, moral duty, which should guide individuals and society, and promoting peace and balance. This is the way we perceive it, at least. Another one which I like very much and which I think should be one of the guiding principles of whatever legal tradition is ahimsa. Sorry again for my pronunciation. which I would translate as a non-violence or a core ethical principle encouraging compassion and empathy towards all beings. And I would include in this also the environment. As one of my colleagues said, climate change and the environment is another huge challenge for our world. So basically, according to this principle, we should gather together and foster a better balance between human needs and nature, the environment. Then karma, the universal law of cause and effect, which we might translate in the legal world as a self-responsibilization of individuals, accountability, taking responsibility for one's action, which is something that is often forgotten in our current world and should be highlighted and promoted by the law. Then Nyai and Yukti, so justice and equity, two other key concepts we should, through the law, ensure fairness and righteousness, always considering what the interests at stake are, always considering individual circumstances and balance to achieve a just outcome, a fair outcome. And then the last one I would mention, but there are others, of course, is Erta. I mean, universal order in the sense of the goal of maintaining balance in the physical and the moral world. And again, I would include in this as well the preservation of the environment and the fight against climate change and for global health. So basically, we need to identify, list, and concretize those principles which are universal, as I said, and insert them into other fundamental rules, which are the balance of needs and interests and the adaptability of the principles to the evolution of society. Not only principles matter, but also what we call in Europe general clauses. Well, general clauses like good faith or wrongful damage are open formula, but they do not convey measures, unlike standards like the reasonable man standard and so on, but values. They are formula that need to be concretized by what a certain society in a given time believes to be a value. They are what has made European civil codes survive through the centuries and even through changes of regime. Of course, harmonization does not mean the imposition of a forced uniformity. The motto of the European Union is unity in diversity. So what harmonization promotes is the idea of a gradual convergence of principles and rules in the awareness that their core is shared, common. And here comes the last ingredient, which is comparative law. Not only international law is important, but also the comparative method, which is fundamental for helping legislators and judges and lawyers towards harmonization, for critically assessing legal solutions and enriching the range of the possible ones, for understanding the formants, even the hidden ones, that make systems evolve, for balancing interests and values in a pluralistic way, and for making legal systems converge. I'm coming to the end with an anecdote. Well, My research laboratory in France is called Confluence. For one of the symbols of the city of Lyon, the city where I work, is the confluence between the two rivers that flow in the city, the Rhône and the Saône. Well, I like this metaphor. For facing the challenges of a world which is globalized and in constant evolution, we, legal academics, lawyers, jurists, judges, need to look for confluences. We should make all the different rivers, all the different legal traditions converge into a unity, which is at the same time the sum of pre existing identities and something new and unique. Those should be, in my opinion, the ingredients or the coordinates. How to follow them or enforce them is for you to tell. So I thank you very much for listening to my speech, and I leave the floor to the next speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Coco, for that masterful and illuminating keynote address, which has undoubtedly expanded our horizons. Moving forward, knowledge gains immorality when it is documented. To mark this significant event, we will now unveil the seminar book, a compendium of insights and scholarly articles. May I request the dignitaries on the dais to kindly come forward for the unveiling. Thank you, respected dignitaries. As an expression of gratitude, we would now present the mementos to our esteemed dignitaries for gracing us with their presence today. I now request Professor Dr. Nirmal Bandyopadhyay, sir, Director PMIRG, to honor Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar Sinha, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, TNLU Jabalpur, with a memento presented as a symbol of our sincere gratitude for gracing this occasion with this esteemed presence. May I now invite Professor Dr. Raki Singh Chauhan, ma'am, Department of Law, PMIRG, to present a memento to Dr. Praveen Tripathi, Honorable Registrar, DNLU Jabalpur, as an expression of our appreciation for joining us and adding warmth to today's ceremony. Thank you so much. Every successful event is a collective effort, and gratitude is the memory of the heart. To formally express our sincere appreciation to everyone who has contributed to this inaugural session, I would now like to invite Dr. Akshay Bhargava sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Law, PMIRG, to deliver the vote of thanks. Sir?
Thank you so much, Mansiman, first of all. Okay. Respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, learned speakers, colleagues, and dear participants. It is indeed a matter of great honor and a privilege for me to extend the formal vote of thanks on behalf of Department of Law, Prestige Institute of Management and Research, Gwalior. On this august occasion of the first International Law Seminar in the cherished memory of late Chief Justice M.A. Shah Sahab on the theme Evolving Dimensions of Law in the Globalized World, Challenges, Reforms, and Interdisciplinary Perspective. At the outset, I express my profound gratitude to our distinguished dignitaries and guest speakers who have graced this inaugural session with their presence and scholarly insights. We are deeply indebted to Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar Sinha sir, Vice Chancellor, Dharmshastra National Law University, Jabalpur, for his thought-provoking address that has truly enriched our deliberations. Immediately following, I wish to convey our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Praveen Tripathi sir, Registrar, Dharmshastra National Law University, Jabalpur, for his valuable reflections and continued support which add immense value to this seminar. Our special gratitude is also due to Dr. Letizia Coco Ma'am, Associate Professor, Lyon Catholic University, France, for lending an international dimension for today's discussions and for graciously joining us from the abroad. We are equally thankful to Shri F.A. Shah sir, Advocate, Madhya Pradesh High Court, Gwalior, and also our elder brother and a guiding star for today, for his address and for upholding the proud legacy of late Justice M.A. Shah Sahab, whose life and work continue to inspire generations. On this occasion, I also place on record our sincere appreciations to the leadership of our institution, Professor Dr. Nirmale Bandyopadhyay sir, for his constant encouragement, vision, and guidance. And a special thanks to Professor Dr. Rakhi Singh Chauhan ma'am, Principal, Department of Law, PIMRG, for inspiring opening remarks, her dynamic leadership, and her untiring efforts in strengthening and academic and research culture of our department. Ma'am, your continuous motivation has always been a source of strength for both faculty and the students alike. Thank you so much, ma'am. A special word of thanks is also extended to our very own Dr. Hariom Awasthi sir, Head Department of Law, Prestige Institute. Sir, we are also thankful to the colleagues, all organizing committees, faculty members, students, and also to all the participants who have presented. A special thanks also to the appreciation to the technical and the administrative staff, all the media persons who has arrived today and provided their gracious present to us. Thank you, sir. Lastly, but most importantly, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all the participants joined across the world on the national and on the international perspective from the online or from the online mode. Thank you, sir. With all these words, I once again convey my collective gratitude to all those who have contributed to the success of this inaugural session, and may the spirit of today's deliberations continue to guide us in exploring the evolving dimensions of law in the rapidly globalized world. Thank you, everyone. Once again.
Thank you so very much, sir. We deeply appreciate your thoughtful reflections and the warmth with which you acknowledge everyone's effort. The curtains may fall, yet the journey has begun. We thank you all for being with us today. With that, we conclude the inaugural session. Jai Hind and may success light your way. We now invite all the dignitaries and the participants to kindly join us for the lunch. Thank you so much.